Just chilling.
That wasn't a very
How's
emphatic
it
just
going?
chill. I think I'm starting to wear you down. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get you to stop saying just chilling eventually, but we'll see. So
We'll see.
we'll see.
What is on your nose? Like
What
I
do you
can't
mean?
stop staring at it. You look like Rudolph.
Oh, okay. So quick story before we get started. Um, like many families during this quarantine, we reached out and we adopted through a shelter a new kitten in the house. So I have two children, a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and a brand new 6-week old kitty who
Wow.
proceeded to bite me on the nose the very first time I was holding him. So, yeah, it's
Oh
not a
my
good
gosh.
sign.
You will love the cat though, I promise. Even when my cat scratches me, I just know that means he still loves me. So,
Well, I don't know because my son is a huge Star Wars fan, so he's an all-black kitten, so he named him Kylo after Kylo Ren. And I'm pretty sure Kylo was a villain, so I think I'm in trouble.
it's okay. I have no idea who you're talking about.
I didn't think you would know Star Wars. Awesome. Well, so today, beyond my nose, we're not going to talk about my nose the whole time, okay? Beyond that, today I'm kind of excited. You actually helped us out with this episode, and I think you reached
Yes.
out to a friend. Tell us what's going on.
Yes. So today we have Nicole Horn. She's from my department. I believe she's a PTW major, but she also is like really talented with photography, graphic design, and I know she does some of that stuff. But yeah, I just learned that she's a transfer student. I've had her in a couple of my classes, and I had no idea she was a transfer student. I thought she's been here all along. Like she just fits right in. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
you know
we
it's
should.
funny you brought that up, and after we did that episode a couple weeks ago with Jeff talking about transfer students, I thought, hey, let's get the transfer student perspective and see what it's all like. So let me ask Nicole to join us. Let me see if I can get her to on the phone here. Here she comes, and let's see what this is all about. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm hanging in
Just
there.
chill.
I'm just She's already using the just chillin', and she's made fun of the scratch on my nose. But don't worry, we'll talk about that later. I'll take care of you. Uh, Nicole, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you're doing now at SVSU?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Nicole, and I am a 4-year college student. So, I've actually transferred to Saginaw Valley last fall. So, I've got about a year under my belt, and I am a professional technical writing major with a double minor in graphic design and business management.
Very, very cool.
And yeah, and Nicole, what made you choose SVSU? I know you're from Delta, or not from Delta, but you went to Delta. What made you choose SVSU out of like all the other schools?
Yeah, so this might be a pretty simple answer, but to be honest, it really came down to convenience and price. I knew that I didn't really want to leave home, and being a commuter student, SVSU was really just a really good choice for me when it came to that route.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just so affordable. I mean, I could not pass up on
Yeah.
that opportunity for sure. I just like the atmosphere SVSU has, and I feel like everybody just really tries their best to make sure you're succeeding as a student, and I really like that.
Very cool. So, how did you go into your community college experience expecting to transfer? Was this like a plan all along, or was this something that kind of came about as you got started?
It was planned all along. I knew I wanted to start at the community level and get some gen eds out of the way, save a little bit of money too. My goal was to be at Delta for 2 years, and that's what I did. Although SPSU wasn't my first choice at the time. To be honest, I thought I would leave home just because that's kind of a typical thing for a lot of students, and I'm the only child. So for me, it wasn't just following other people, but it was kind of just what I knew from others' experience. So I just decided that, you know what, no, I'm doing my own thing. I love SVSU. I'm going to gear towards that. And I stuck with it and I love it.
So, Nicole, what is it like being a transfer student here at SVSU? Is it any different from community college at all?
But when I had my first day at Saginaw Valley, it was a big change just because there were so many people. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. You know, you're not really used to seeing the same person in the hallway, like on that same Monday at that same time. Um, so that was a really big change, but I loved it. Um, as far as being a transfer student and just maybe being nervous about coming to a big university, I felt like communicating with SVSU's admissions made me comfortable. They let me know that they were going to be there to help me, that I wasn't going to feel alone in the process. And that was huge for me because I know it's kind of scary for a lot of people. And I made sure that I just got involved. I made sure that with my program, I got to know a lot of people. I really went out there, and I feel like I started at SVSU from the day one, to be honest.
So, I'm going to assume Nick isn't the one who talked to you in the admissions office.
Oh, ouch. Come on.
JK.
Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that. That makes me feel a lot better. You know, I've got lots of students that I've really helped along the way, but you know, it's okay. I did not get a chance to work with Nicole coming in, but here's a true fact. I knew of Nicole though because of some of her extracurricular activities. We found that out, right?
Yep.
And so eventually we would have worked together. Don't worry, it was good. So, Nicole, one of the things, speaking of working with admissions staff, fine admissions staff, people like myself, I one of the things that I always find difficult in talking about and helping students with to help them understand was how to transfer your credits, right? How did that go for you? Did any of your credits not transfer? Can you explain, did somebody in admissions help you through that? How did that all happen?
So, being, like I said, the only child, I really, my parents went through college, but it's obviously a little bit different. And to be honest, this whole college degree, minor, FAFSA, all of that was just so confusing to me. So, when I was at Delta, I originally wanted to get an associate's degree. And I, about a semester in, decided, no, I don't. I just want to get some gen eds and transfer over. So there was a couple credits that I took in that first semester at Delta that didn't end up counting for things because it was geared towards the requirement of an associate's degree. So when I got to Saginaw Valley and I worked with Gary Brosser specifically, he really sat with me and printed off all the degree audits and kind of all my choices and said, all right, this is what you took, this is what you need to take, and this is what you have left. And he spent a long time with me. He really just laid it all out and really explained it all. So there were a couple things that didn't transfer. I actually did end up changing my major halfway through. Oh, it kind of cut me out for a minute. I'm back. So I did end up changing my major halfway through my college career from Delta. So I was originally going for a business management degree, came to SVSU and switched to technical writing. So I had a couple management courses that weren't going to count for my new management minor, which all in all was only a couple. So I didn't have that big of a trouble with the transfer process of credits. So I came with a lot under my belt, really, and it was worth it to do the 2 years at a community college and come over and have stuff done.
I got to tell you, your story is so common, and what I mean by that is, a lot of students that I work with that are transferring, they kind of come in and they have an idea of what they want to do, but then they change plans halfway through. And usually when you change plans, you're going to lose a couple credits here and there. But I think, for you and for most, the bulk of those credits still come in and count towards your graduation, and you don't lose time that way. So it's difficult. My best advice for incoming transfer students is to do exactly what you did. And so that's why I'm glad you said this, is you got to talk to the school that you're going to end up at, right? So if it's SVSU, great. You need to come and see, well, maybe not me, right, Amanda? Thanks. But you need to come and see somebody in the admissions office who can sit down and say, okay, let's look at all of these classes. Let's show you how your transfers are going to, your credits are going to come in. and then we can kind of lay out a whole plan for you, right? Jeff, who we talked to in an earlier episode, Jeff Zuloff is the current transfer advisor. He spends actually a couple days a week during the school year at Delta helping advise students too. So there's a lot of resources out there for students like yourself. So that's my advice for incoming transfer students. I got to ask you, what kind of advice would you have for an incoming transfer student once they get to SVSU?
Okay. So really, all of you said, I agree with too. You know, it's just really important to reach out and know that people are there to help. So when I was coming to SVSU, I knew I wanted to be involved. I knew I wanted to, you know, make the best out of my university experience because I'm still a commuter student. I don't live on campus, but I still want to be involved. So actually, a little bit prior to my my admissions at SVSU, I started looking up clubs. I started looking up different organizations that SVSU had and contacting different advisors and people in those clubs and saying, hey, I'm coming to SVSU. I want to be involved. This is what my major is. How can I do this? And I felt like that really makes me feel like I'm kind of more personalized with SVSU. I'm not just coming to classes and going home and feeling like, oh, this is just a normal college. You know, every college has their own types of things that they offer for students, and it's really important to get into that and really just make the best out of your experience. So for anyone transferring, I just think it's really important to kind of, it's going to be intimidating, but you got to put yourself out there a little bit.
It's good advice. I
Good advice.
say that a lot all the time. I'm trying to get Amanda to do something else, but we talked about marching band maybe or some of these other things, but
I think marching band would be great for Amanda.
You know, if they get a front ensemble, I'll think about it.
all right.
We
All
have
right.
something to do.
Awesome. Okay, Nicole. So you've been suckered into this. This is the my favorite part of our whole podcast. I know you've been watching, so I'm pretty sure you know what's coming. This is Nick's irreverent question of the day.
Ooh, okay.
We've yet to get good like special effects on there, so that's just my special effects. So Amanda has made me do all sorts of things like watch The Tiger King, and that's why I affectionately call her Carol Baskin. She's made me listen to weird music. I want to know from you, with your spare time right now, what's a fun thing? I want a fun thing, okay? Nothing studious. You're not trying to impress anybody here, okay? This isn't going to go on your resume. I want to know a fun thing. What's one fun thing you're doing to spend your time while we're kind of all stuck in this quarantine?
So it's nothing along the lines of Tiger King. To be honest, I haven't even watched it. I probably so I've watched you guys bicker about it. I'm all on your side, Nick. Sorry, Amanda. But
It's okay.
really, one of the biggest things I love actually is podcasts. Whoa, who would have thought, right? So I live out in the country actually, and one of the best things I love doing is being outside, especially when we're inside on our computers all the time, dealing with technology. And so I frequently like to go for bike rides, and I'm actually really into this National Parks podcast right now. It's sponsored by LL Bean, which is pretty cool. It's like the generic one that pops up on Spotify. So you'll have to give it a listen. It's pretty good.
National Park. Okay, I'm a podcast guy too. We asked this. I think it was Heidi Lang, and she didn't have a lot of podcasts. But that okay. So the National Park one, I think that'd be a good one. I'll have to check that one out. I'm big into. I love certain comedians. I love one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to when I do my morning workout is You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes.
Oh my
I don't know if
gosh.
you've ever heard. Do you know who Pete Holmes is?
No.
Either of you? Okay, I'm done. That's my dad joke right there. Check out You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes. It's pretty funny. It's a little you gotta care. I mean, it's for adults. We're all adults here, but it's not too bad. It's not Joe Rogan or any of those. But it's pretty good. You'll have to check out that one. If you're a podcaster, it's worth. The one thing I really like about it is it's super long. So I can go and for an hour and a half or 2 hours, just kind of zone out. So
That's
you're along. All right. Very cool. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. We're not going to let Amanda talk about her podcasts because they're all weird and they involve tigers. So, no,
Podcast? What podcast? No,
exactly.
I'm just kidding.
She just watches ours
This is the only podcast I listen to.
and too many times because she has to edit it. Awesome. Well, Nicole, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll get to see you really soon.
Yes, thank
I'll
you.
see you in the fall.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care, Nicole.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Carol Baskin. I think that went pretty well. She seems really nice and like a really good student. So I wonder what she's doing hanging out with you.
Right? And she just seems so smart. Like, I don't understand why she chooses to sit by me in class.
But that's cool though. I love your story about how you didn't even know that she was a transfer student. And I think that's a really important factor about students that transfer students specifically are always worried that when they come in, they're going to be considered like an outlier, right? An outcast, not an outcast, but just not the norm. And Nicole's a great example that you can integrate really quickly into everything that's happening at SVSU.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. Well, I'm excited. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm going to go and try to not get bit by a cat.
Yeah, you just gotta get some of the spray from. I got it from Target. It's like $3. It keeps them from. It's got like essential oils in it or something. I don't know. It smells like lemons.
You kids and your essential oils. All right. Well, take care, Amanda. I'll talk to you soon. Wash your hands.
Yeah, you too.